Okay, so now I'm going to call the work session to order. And before I turn it over to the council president to lead the work session, the first item is consideration of the agenda as presented. And I would like it for an amendment so that we switch the items 4 and 5. So that right after the bridge inspection report, we will then immediately go into the executive session. So will someone please make that amendment? Councilman Rowe.
I will.
Make the amendment.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, is there a second?
A second.
Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so now I will turn it over to our distinguished council president to lead the work session.
All right, the first item for work session is proposals by the Somerset Youth Town Council for a spring market event and a pickleball social event. So I think we've got representatives from the Youth Council here who can describe it. Would like to go? Podium.
There are such patience.
Hi, I'm Ari Peters. I've been on work. I am the youth mayor.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm the youth town council president, and I live on
So between the spring market and the proposal, we figured that we'd start with the spring market. So just in general, we want to create a spring market that'd be held in this room, hopefully, or maybe a different room if there is, but this seemed like the best one. And it'd be around the time of I want to say March or April. And it'd be hosted on the weekend or on a big good day for all the people that are involved. Sometime in the morning to early afternoon. And so we want to bring together any youth. It can come from the elementary schools, it can come from middle schools, high schools, doesn't really matter. But we want to bring them so that they can come and present their arts, crafts, and maybe even if they have like cooking skills, like maybe cookies or brownies, they could sell that here as well. So we just want to be able to bring in like entrepreneurs in here and to be able to sell their work. Most preferably we want to get this approved really early so that we can start officially advertising in January, so that we can give people enough time to actually prepare to create, especially for artists, to actually create art that they can prepare to sell. Yeah, so yeah, we probably just advertise mostly through like posters. Presented in maybe like the elementary school or just throughout town. That would make the most sense. Yeah, so that's the first one. So, yeah, do we have any questions before we move on to?
Can I say something?
This one?
So Mayor Peters, thank you for being here tonight. And this is a wonderful idea. And are you aware of the effort made by a resident, Nicole Toda, about 5 years ago when we had an entrepreneurs fair here? You might have not, maybe you were, because didn't you live abroad?
No, yeah, I lived abroad 11 years ago.
Okay, well, it might have been that long ago.
5
Yeah.
years
Do
ago,
you
was a
know-
long time.
when
Yeah, he
was
was
it?
like in
I
five,
was-
probably in like
Five
5
years ago was pre-COVID.
So I've been wanting, so right now Nicole Toda is out of the country for a few more months, but I would definitely suggest that you contact her and get her advice because it was incredible.
Okay.
Did anybody go?
Yes, it was very, very good. Actually,
Did
Jeff's
you go?
mascot.
It was before you, it was before
It
you.
must have been before I
Yeah.
moved
Was
here.
it here in this room or
Yeah,
outside?
it was outside.
Oh,
It was
so
like
fabulous.
4th of July
It was,
thing. It was very
I
nice.
think it was probably like
Worth talking to.
8 years ago.
Reconnect.
It was long before.
Even
COVID.
I was a baby.
It was pre-COVID for sure.
Yeah.
It was
but
pre-me.
Definitely, I'm sure she has a folder she can give you and,
She has offered to help someone do it again. She doesn't want to drive.
well, that's what she comes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's I mean, can I keep going? I just
Well,
want to say it's a great idea.
Any questions from anybody? All right, go ahead.
Two
Kabir.
questions. One is what are you going to do to encourage participation from Somerset kids?
Well, there is definitely a population out there that does want to, that does create arts and crafts. I personally know that my mom runs the YouTube really well at Somerset. So
Yes,
she's
I've seen her class.
Yes, great. So, so like there's
So you know,
definitely a
yeah.
population that we can, that at least I have direct access to talking to, not in that sense. And I mean, I remember when I was in middle school, there were kids that did go to events similar to this and they did sell. And they were actually very, very talented, so they were able to sell, so I think giving this be a really cool opportunity. And if we advertise it well enough and loud enough, then enough kids will respond.
My daughter will sign up, sure. And then the second is, is there a cost associated with this? And are you expecting what that cost to be? And then, what is your expectation of town staff in helping you with this?
I'll say something, I'll honor her as if she has anything. So, we believe that the only real cost to this, I think, would just be providing maybe just like pretzels and lemonade. And because I feel like we have most of the facility, we have tables here to set up, if not, we can provide extra tables, but I don't think this is a very costly event. I would presume maybe $90, total, I'm not quite sure.
Well, you'll be able to work with
You can work with
deputy
Ethan.
town manager to come up with a budget and all that, and you can help with the publicity and.
No, I mean, in terms of, what the town staff would do, honestly, I think if you guys wanna show up, spread by word of mouth. But other than that, there isn't much work that you don't have to do.
Thank you.
Except coming by the product.
Yeah, and then the next thing, we like to propose, as you all know, is, the pickleball social for the spring of 2025. Earlier, someone was opposing that, but we'll give our proposal. So, honestly, we came up with this, a couple months ago, and we've been wanting to present it. It would probably take place on a Saturday or Sunday, either in April or May, from 10 to 2. So 10 to 12 would be like playing time, and then 12 to 2 we would cater a lunch. So this would be a bit on the pricier side, probably $600 in terms of materials, in order to not open the gateway and have the pickleball war again. People would bring their own rackets and hopefully nets too, and they're just take down lines, but nothing is permanent. If people that don't have rackets want to play, maybe budget allowing you to get maybe 12-pack rackets. Other than that, when people aren't playing, we would have some other outdoor games set up, and then stations maybe for little kids, really little kids who can't play pickleball, and teenagers who would be spectating, who could earn SSL hours if possible. That could also not bribe, but be a good way to get them to come help out. Incentive, yes. Overall, it's a great way to bring the town together. We know that pickleball has always been a fight. I mean, we don't want to make it annual if it's a really big issue, but it's a compromise for the people that don't want it to be an always thing, but for the people who do want to play. A good social event for Somerset residents to get together. Anything with that? Wow. Okay. Yeah, do you all have any questions?
I do. I just Googled,
Yeah,
pickleball quiet balls at Amazon. It is my understanding that pickleball, that they have created quiet balls because this is such a controversial thing.
right,
So I think you need to research that and find out if it really is quiet.
yeah,
Because I don't know if I believe just what I see here, but you can do some research on that. Because I think if you can come up with quiet balls, then we might be able to, it might be, it won't be such a big deal.
right,
And it won't open the gateways. I just think you're just trying to do a neat thing for the community.
yeah, exactly.
From 10 to 12 to play this game. If you can get quiet balls, that would be great.
Yeah,
And so that's what I encourage you to do.
thank you.
Other questions?
Yeah, any other question?
So I have some questions, but you go ahead.
Have you talked at all with the tennis committee?
No, we
Yes.
wanted to present it to you guys first to get an idea, and then, I think we'll ask.
So I think it's a great idea. I'm just concerned the tennis committee will have some reservations. and I'd want to know what they are before
Well, I think I think right now they are
the sort of concept.
presenting their original proposal. They're seeking input from all of us. And so then they will come back with a definitive proposal that then the council would approve in the future. Because it's not for something in January, February.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Later on.
So I think that it will be good for everybody to help this, because we want this to be the best youth council in Maryland. So all the good input and advice and questions, so they can come back with a really tight proposal that can go through the process of approval.
I will say the original.
Steve had a, so.
I think
sorry,
Steve's-
yeah.
Just to finish off.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great idea. And we've done a more extensive pilot in previous years. I'd be happy to consider this to be a pilot with these new quiet balls.
I don't know
Then
if I
we'll find out
want
how quiet they are.
I don't know if I want to open the can of worms.
But the idea would just be, we could go ahead and, I would support this. I just want to know what the other, because there might be some issues on timing or
Right,
the day or which month the tennis committee would
Yeah.
prefer.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
prior
maybe.
pickleball demonstration was on the basketball court, actually, which the tennis committee was very happy with, as a matter of fact.
Mhm.
All right, Kabir.
So you will do the, what do you call it, spring market, March, April.
Yeah.
And this will be towards in the May.
probably, yeah, end of May.
Would you, did you consider, instead of doing a pickleball event, doing something else?
Yeah,
Could that be an option?
Well, we are planning to redo our team night at the pool again.
Okay,
So, and so like early in the year, we just talked about like some things that we wanted to do before we reintroduced the team night again.
got it.
but
When was
there-
that, do you know?
it was end of August.
It was
Yeah.
end of August.
Yeah,
End of August, yeah. So that was more of,
I was just thinking that could be an alternative to consider. I mean, we're not deciding today, since it's anyway in the late May period, unless you guys are keen on pickleball.
yeah, I mean, since we're already doing the team pool night. then
You're,
maybe
this
we wanna
is a
change it up.
different,
And we were thinking, unless the people of Somerset have alternative ideas, maybe tennis, but tennis isn't always an easy and fun sport for someone that has never played football. Football is easier for anyone who's never played before to just go in for 2 hours and have fun.
I'd also wanna add that, I think I was like, since this was pre-COVID as well, but I did attend a social that happened in Somerset. And I was the only minor, and there was maybe, there was about, I wanna say 8 to 10 people that showed up. And so, yeah, so even though the idea of tennis sounds pretty lucrative, the numbers that show up weren't, at least the last time it was hosted, weren't that amazing. So we think that pickleball is more accessible to the general Somerset
fine.
populace.
Two more things,
Okay.
10 to 2.
Yeah.
Just keep in mind, people work from home. So
Weekend,
something.
Yeah, we're
we're
What's
doing the
weekend?
weekend.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And then the second thing was, if you do go door to door on the street to kind of build support for it, I'm happy to join. Okay?
Thank you.
Rally support.
It's
Yeah.
actually a great idea to go.
If you go door to door,
this gets
if you need
approved,
someone else to join.
to go
you.
door to door to say, come join us. We want to let you know we're doing this. Hopefully you will have quiet balls and then you make friends instead of
Yeah.
surprising them.
You might want to investigate renting soundproof barriers too.
It's kind of-
Cost is
We
going
have
up.
a bubble. We have bubbles,
Yeah.
Let's not make a big deal out of this. Let's just see what happens with quiet balls and go from there.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we could even use tennis balls as an alternative.
These quiet balls look pretty cool, I gotta tell you.
I just want to remind the council that older residents really wanted this in town
Right.
and it didn't happen. And so
This is
just
kid
I
thing
know,
for 2
I know,
hours.
just keep it in mind.
Yeah.
Let's
keep it in
support
mind.
our kids.
No, I
People
mean-
will get a little
I
irritated
think
by
that,
it, yeah.
Yeah.
well, do you guys have like, I mean, I think that for the pickleball, like those nets are like, I don't know how we would get nets. And
You can rent.
you can rent
You can
nets.
borrow, I can probably borrow
You can
for you, I know
borrow.
people that have them. We'll
Yeah.
talk.
They have their own nets.
Yep, people have their own nets.
I
Yeah,
agree.
so
I mean, honestly, like as a person that lives on the street across the street from the tennis court, I will say that I do agree with Adam who spoke, which is that it's really gonna open up like, I don't know if you guys are prepared for like what would open, because I mean, I think that you'll run into a lot of opposition.
What you're gonna be running into because you're gonna be proving it or not. They're
Right.
just making.
I don't think.
Well,
they're
yeah,
gonna
well,
run into
I
it.
mean, I
We're
guess-
gonna run into it, not them.
Well, no, but I mean-
Deal with the
You're the
opposition, but we
one.
are giving you
Because
the
you don't have to
possible
approve it.
challenges.
You don't have to approve it.
It's not
Well,
them.
no,
one's
no,
gonna go
no.
after
I'm
them.
not saying that you guys, but like, it's not directed at you, but I'm just saying that it will, you know, there might be some active emails and listservs and, you know, all sorts of,
How that should
people
stop.
talking
That's
about
all.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Democracy,
we
that's
understand
why
that.
they're-
But what if they have pop
Yeah,
silent
great.
pickleballs?
We actually did want to address the idea that this might open a can of worms and create a bigger culture. I wanted to bring back to maybe the rap night that we used to have. I also remember when we had raps at the pool, and everyone had raps,
Oh my god.
and then, I love
Oh yeah,
raps.
the floaty.
Yeah, the floaties, exactly. And then Somerset banned them for safety issues. However,
Well, there were
they did
incidents.
introduce a raft night, which was once a year. And so the rafts have been contained to the single raft night, and since then, like, I don't see rafts out of the pool anymore, and like, most lifeguards don't even know the history, and like, it's still, like, rafts are still pretty non-existent at the pool, so despite the fact that it used to be the main culture at the pool, it's now been relegated to an annual event, so if we have this now, this pickleball social as proposed, if it's successful, we can make it an annual event, then maybe pickleball can be contained the same way that rafts were contained.
Good point.
Okay, so
I like Debbie's idea of renaming it silent pickleball.
Yeah, I'm looking at these
Start,
balls.
start,
Yeah.
Yeah,
message- improve your messaging.
Yeah.
Yeah. Silent pickleball
Silent
social.
pickleball.
Okay,
Alright,
so-
okay.
I have some more questions.
It's quiet.
So
I know, but they're pretty.
are you aware that I think that the popularity of pickleball is now reached its peak, and there is now another sport
Uh-oh.
there was an article that I gave to the staff last week that is now emerging.
What is it?
What's it called? Paddle. Yeah, or so I think you should look into a demo for this other sport, paddle ball. Is paddle ball right?
Did you just
Paddle
discover
tennis.
paddle tennis?
No, what is it? It's something
mean?
new.
It's on a, like, it's not new, but it's mostly been at country clubs, but it's like it's played in the winter and it's on raised courts.
Is it only in the winter?
Yeah, like this is like a Minnesota sport.
Okay, there you go.
The long winter.
But
and-
Only in the winter. Well,
But I think you might also think about other, other athletic activities at this spring market, at this event.
All right.
Because, and then the other thing is, I think it'd be great also if you start monthly having a column or something in the town journal that updates everybody on what you're doing. So you could write about these proposals that are gonna be coming.
Or a video.
That's a very
post on
good idea.
Instagram.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Updates in the
And
town
you don't have to
journal.
go door to door.
and we definitely need, I mean, we haven't even published in the town journal that you're the youth mayor.
Yeah, that
I
has
don't
to
think it's
happen.
even been in there.
We need to
So it's
fix
all
that.
up to you.
Yeah.
So, and then you
Mayor and
have,
person.
and you have the deputy managers, isn't. So it's all good. And this is also part of your training to come to present at the council.
So, and anyway, we're not gonna vote on it. You've heard our advice.
Yeah.
And hopefully you'll come back with a formal proposal to a true council meeting and we can approve it at that point.
We're here for you.
Thank you very much.
No silent pickleball.
Thank you very much.
Also, yes,
Yeah.
it's been a rebranding.
Maybe there should be like a band or something like out here. Like music, like
The
or like
BCC
movies
jazz.
or?
Yeah.
Can you get the VCC jazz?
Yeah, one of the
To
members
like
of
raise
the-
the noise levels, it drowns out the.
I think they.
I like that.
That's fine, it's in-
Don't be
Yeah, but
afraid
that's
to
good
have a
though.
budget attached.
Maybe we can test it, we'll test it.
Music.
That might drown out the
Are any of you
people.
with the VCC jazz?
Yeah, actually, one of our in-town council members.
Yeah, that's the way we get them for free, right?
Maybe.
We need to move on.
I don't know that. I think we also, we need to do profiles of the youth council in the
Alright,
Yeah, but we're just planning to make it a whole social event, a little lawn, the parking, well, maybe not parking lot, people come park the big grass area for the tennis courts,
Sounds
courts,
great.
obviously. So
good.
just all around fun afternoon.
All
That's
right,
good.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pickleball from the title.
Yeah.
People, we need to move on.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a good night.
Thank you.
All right, the next one is like will require our attention really. So it's a report by EJ on the bridge inspection report and the load rating analysis that Dewberry prepared.
Thank you. Due to the time, I'll skip the background and just go straight into the findings of the inspection. Basically, Dewberry inspected the bridge and did a full report and wrote load rating analysis in the packet below my memo. It's both reports. Additionally, if you have further technical questions, at the next work session in January, I can have the inspector give a presentation as well. But basically, to begin, the high level is that they rated the bridge on 3 elements: the deck, the superstructure, and the substructure. Both the deck and the substructure received a 6, which translates to a satisfactory rating. Superstructure received a 4, which translates to a poor rating. The deck's rating was just based off the clearly visible wear and tear on the timber decks that we can all see. While the superstructure had quite a few more issues they found. Primarily, there was there's some stormwater issues where where runoff from the parking lot goes straight into one of the beams. There's moderate corrosion on the bridge, on the beams and in the concrete. There's moderate to severe corrosion and even section loss at the beam ends. The most kind of pressing element of it was a hole in one of the beam webs. And then the substructure was primarily, again, very minor, which was minor deterioration and cracking in its stone facade. And then, so then they gave basically recommendations on high priority, intermediate, and long term. As I said, the hole in the web at the abutment was kind of their big, like, this is what needs to be fixed, followed by this runoff situation. Then the intermediate was the repairs to the timber deck, the mortar joints and steel beam repair. And then the long term is, of course, just maintenance of it. And then they also recommended an inspection schedule. They say it's not necessary per se, but that's just what they usually recommend to all their clients. So that alone is the first part. Within the second part is the load rating analysis, where they basically the math is below, but they take the GVW, the gross vehicle weight of several of the current classes of vehicles, and basically through a simulation see kind of the pool's max. Yeah, the bad news there is that for the most current class of vehicles, especially emergency vehicles, our bridge does not meet the minimum load, which hasn't been a problem, but basically means that that fire trucks are not necessarily supposed to go on the bridge at all.
Absolutely. It's marked on our maps.
Yeah, oh yeah, and that is true, yeah, and so that luckily is not a problem.
An ambulance,
Not go across that bridge.
Yeah.
ambulances can go.
Some can, but
That's very handy.
I need to check which, actually now, part of the next step for me is checking which exact class is used by Glen Echo, Bethesda, and then Chevy Chase Bethesda, because some ambulances can, some can't. Same for work vehicles, some work vehicles can, some can't, so we're in a bit of a kind of flowy situation on which bridges, or not which bridges, which vehicles can go. and which can't. And so the next steps there, they talked, basically it comes down to the load rating is if the town council is okay with the current load rating, then I would recommend that we just do the renovation, we can fix the corrosion, we can fix the timber decks, the masonry. And they said that it should be actually not as expensive as initially, I don't know exactly the price, I don't have an estimate because that's kind of the next step in the project, but they actually said that would not be that terribly expensive, which I was kind of surprised to hear after I heard about corrosion and everything. And then in terms of renovation, though, of course, if we also, I know Councilmember Rovak wanted to look at the potential of doing a gate at the bridge. And so we could also look at that. The only thing is renovation can fix the corrosion, but it really can't do anything about the load analysis. They said it might improve a little bit, but it's less about the corrosion on the beams and just kind of the beams that we're using. So they said if we only really care about upping that load analysis, we could look at bridge replacement or at least replacement of the superstructure to get that load rating up. Obviously, it'd be more expensive. And so I don't, I don't have an exact estimate, of course, yet, because that was not the point of the inspection, but that is an option. It would obviously, of course, fix all the other issues, but, it really is dependent on if we're okay with it being a restricted bridge like it is now, or if we want to upgrade it to take on more. And so there's basically, I hear I mentioned two options, bridge replacement and bridge renovation. Really, there's three. There's renovation, there's replacement of the superstructure, and then a total replacement. So
Total replacement with upgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. And so my kind of recommendation to go next is for the I can get estimates on all of them, or if the council just wants to discuss and has a preferred option, they would like kind of move forward with.
I think we should get estimates for all three.
But wait, let's talk
Hang on,
about the
let's-
load. No, I don't think we need three, I think we need two, gotta up our load.
No,
Yeah.
it's, there is a middle option.
Yeah.
I just want to
Just
know
the
what the cost.
superstructure.
Yeah.
EJ, before we get into that, the runoff problem is coming from the parking lot to the bridge, and that's causing the erosion, right?
Yes, because it's going.
Because replacing the bridge will still have the same runoff problem unless we get the runoff problem fixed.
They said that, well, with a replacement bridge, we could easily kind of. Channel, yeah,
Redirect the water, so that would be
Yeah.
part of the replacement, all
Yeah.
right. And again, because we're renovating, we don't fix the runoff problem, then we're just gonna be renovating again in 2 years,
Yeah.
because it's just gonna erode again. So, do they talk about the cost of, mitigating the stormwater runoff while renovating the bridge as well?
No, they said obviously it would increase the price of renovation. They said it is possible. They said with renovation, though, like you said, it would be much more difficult than a replacement. But they didn't give exact prices on any of these because this was just the pure inspection of the current bridge, for us to then look at next steps for the bridge.
Okay. All right, so I think we know where we are now. So, who wants to go next? Debbie, have you got any thoughts on it?
I think we need to replace the bridge. I think we need to make it,
Just the superstructure of the whole bridge.
yeah, I think it would be, we need to be able to get a fire truck across our bridge. We shouldn't have to say to the ambulance that shows up, oh, by the way, what's your payload here? You know,
Right.
I think we have an obligation to have the best bridge we can have and whatever the needs are, whatever the levels are, but. So I would skip 1, 2 and go right to 3 and get an estimate to redo that bridge.
All right, Shannon, where are you?
I mean, I guess I would get like an estimate. Yeah, I mean, for the full bridge. And then maybe, you know, if we can make it usable, you know, like what that second estimate would be, like what's the difference? I mean, I don't even know what we're talking as far as like money. So it's hard to say.
I just note that a new bridge also gives us an opportunity to address the perennial issues of water entrapment and slippery conditions on the bridge. You know, we know that there are some issues.
Well, what year was that bridge built?
Was that 71?
Yeah, as far as, and unless if it was, there's a renovation that we don't have a historical record of, as far as I know, the bridge was constructed in 1971.
There was a renovation since 71, though.
Oh, yeah, was it?
Yeah, but it was all Band-Aid.
It wasn't that long ago, I'm
90s.
saying.
It was all bad, and I mean, so 71 is 50 some years. I mean, it probably shouldn't have lasted that long anyway.
Yeah, it's quite patched up in some way.
And who even knows, you know, if it was built correctly in the first place, and
Is this the kind of thing that our
But
new Dewberry?
that could be your talking about.
No, I was wondering, is this the kind of thing that our new Dewberry contract would help us with in terms of getting the proposals,
They could, yes.
RFPs, rather?
I mean, the issue that we lost is whether replacing the superstructure alone is enough to increase the load rating sufficiently to allow the ambulances and fire trucks to go over, or we have to replace the whole bridge. And I don't know that answer, you know, we need to find out that answer.
I mean, wasn't the bridge built when the pool was built?
Original.
Well, I share the collective ambition to replace it. What might be useful is to get the price estimates for all three, to Shannon's point. Also for the second option, what was it? The frame,
The steel beams, basically.
yeah, replacing that. What does that mean in terms of ambulance getting across? You said you want to, just give us the full
Yeah.
information. So we decide with eyes wide open,
Mhm.
going with the replacement.
It sounds like none of us really want the renovation to go forward, it's replacement that we're thinking about.
Let's do it.
I mean, just by the bullet, I mean.
To what chance that, let's see what the estimates are.
Yeah, let's look at the cost.
If
as
a
the next step.
renovation is 10,000 and a new bridge is 200,000, well, maybe the renovation is the way to go.
Except
Yeah, let's
except
look
for
at-
creative ways to finance it.
Yeah, but we have to get the cost. as a
Yeah,
first
we
step.
do.
Let's look at all three and.
And
get
we
all the
obviously need to
information.
do something, so yes.
Yeah,
All right,
but I would get the cost for the gate as well.
Yeah.
Get the full cost, get everything.
all right, okay. I've had a request to adjourn the meeting after this item because it is 7:30.
Yeah, and.
None of the
and
other
all the
items
items
are,
are, they're all.
urgent. So is there, I'll move the motion to adjourn the meeting. Is there a second?
I so move. Second.
All those in favor?
Or
Well, yeah, before we adjourn, we do need a motion to enter closed session.
I don't think
We're not
I think they're gonna
We're not gonna
take
do
that.
We're not gonna do that closed session tonight? Okay.
All right.
What was it about?
Okay, all those in favor of
It
adjourning?
was to review.
Okay, we're adjourning.
That's 4815. Mike.
It was to review. It was to
Oh, okay.
review. It was to